What is up, my friends? We are back with a Sunday night late night news roundup, and I'm going to take you through the developing story from Italy about Lookman putting in a transfer request. What does that mean for their pursuit of Federico Chiesa? We're going to speak about some news from Germany that said Manchester United have matched the offer for Benjamin Sesko that Newcastle put in. We'll have a little bit on Darwin Nunez. We'll hear from Eddie Howe and what he's had to say about Isak and that situation. Of course, we will bring you right up to date with where we are in Liverpool's pursuit of the Swedish striker. So that and lots more to come over the next few minutes. But don't forget, tomorrow the Reds have back-to-back games, and we will be live here on Anfield Agenda from 4 p.m, taking you right through till 10 o'clock. If you want to keep up with the very latest transfer news, make sure that you sign up to the Anfield Agenda WhatsApp community by scanning that QR code on the screen. And if you'd like to come and see us for our last ever stage show, we will be in Liverpool at the Hot Water Comedy Club Sunday the 19th of October. That's the weekend of the Manchester United game, for an all-ages event. Tickets are priced at just £15, and all of our ticket revenue from that show will be going towards that fund for Joe's wheelchair basketball chair. Right, let's get cracking, folks. And I'm going to start off with Craig Houlden. We've spoken about him quite a bit, but he has said everything now points to Alexander Isak having played his last game for Newcastle. And look, he's been really good through this coverage, apart from that one night that I keep going on about where for some reason he got a bit angry about Liverpool bottling it. So it is slowly dawning, I think, even on Newcastle's fans now, that it is just an unretrievable situation. There was a nonsense set of posts earlier on saying that Newcastle are ready to forgive and welcome him back in, and there's been no public condemnation of Isak, which there has been, and I'll move on to speak about in a moment. But look, it's never nice when these things happen. Like I've said, nobody wants their football club and their star player to get toxic with each other. But Isak seems very, very intent on not playing for Newcastle again. And this isn't Liverpool journalists reporting that. That is from the Daily Mail's Newcastle correspondent. So let's talk about Rodrigo, because lots of people are asking, if we didn't get Isak, would Rodrigo be in the mix? Well, reports seem to suggest so, but I'm not really convinced. This report here said that Spurs are looking at the possibility of bringing in Rodrigo after Heung-min Son's departure. The player wants a salary of about £180,000 a week, but is waiting for Liverpool to make their move. There was also a report the other night from ESPN Brazil that seemed to say that Rodrigo wants to come to Liverpool, but I really don't know where we are from our side with all of this. Probably going to have to wait to hear from some actual journalists on it, because truth is, I don't know where we're at with Rodrigo. Would I like him? Yes, but I prefer Isak, so I hope that happens. Now, I did mention we're going to hear what Eddie Howe had to say on the whole Isak situation, and as reported by Craig Houlden, this is what Eddie Howe has said. You have to earn the right to train with us. We are Newcastle United. The player has a responsibility here to be part of a team and part of a squad. You have to act in the right way. So that is also a play here. We will make sure that any player that does earn the right to train with the group. No player can expect to act poorly and train with the group as normal. So that is at odds with that rosy picture that they were trying to play again in the Newcastle fan media circles, I think, maybe, trying to vilify Liverpool as always. But the player himself, even take Liverpool out of the equation, like I've said many times, he has a gripe with Newcastle, whether it's a lack of an improved contract once or twice, whether it's with the lack of enforcements coming in to help. He just doesn't want to be there, and he feels like he was promised he could move away. I'm not inside the Newcastle camp. I'm only telling you what Isak's side are saying. So at this point, I don't think it's a retrievable situation, and that fact seems to be dawning on the Newcastle side. Next, let's speak about Ben Jacobs talking about Darwin Nunez. Some conflicting reporting here from the same journalist, but basically he said that both Al Hilal have agreed personal terms with Darwin and that they haven't agreed personal terms with Darwin. But there have been a few reports today to suggest that, yes, those personal terms have been agreed and that Liverpool are looking for €70 million. And he said Darwin Nunez was focused on speaking with Al Hilal. They were focused on getting his blessing, I guess, before they made a bid to Liverpool, and that bid should be soon. So let's wait and see what happens there. AC Milan also in the hunt for Darwin Nunez, but can they really match the figures or tempt Liverpool into a sale with an offer that would be acceptable? I doubt it. I really doubt it. I just don't think there's as much money in Italian football these days as perhaps there once was. Let's move on to Ademola Lookman, and you might say, well, what's this got to do with Liverpool? the knock-on effect from this. So Ademola Lookman confirmed earlier on today that he's handed in a transfer request trying to get his move away from Atalanta. He did post it on, I think, Instagram. You can go and read it for yourself if you have a chance. But basically, they're trying to get money for him so that they can then move for Federico Chiesa. So we're kind of all just waiting around at the minute. But it was I did read the post from Lookman, and it was a very emotional one, saying that he was promised things that didn't get delivered again. And there's always a he said, she said in these situations. So I don't know, but it does have a knock-on effect for us. So keep an eye on that if Lookman does move. This piece here tonight, though, from Kicker and our friends at Anything Liverpool posted to say Manchester United matching Newcastle's €80 million bid for Sesko, according to Kicker. This is going to be a busy few days. Buckle up. It is an interesting development, but still don't know, do they have the funds ready to go and available? We know that they've tried to include Højlund in the deal, just like they did when they were trying to sign Ugo Ekitike with Eintracht Frankfurt, and he wants to stay and play at Manchester United. So I don't know what's going on there. Newcastle have got other targets, as we spoke about tonight in the late night agenda. They've been linked with Gonzalo Ramos from Paris Saint-Germain as another potential one. They're still working on a deal to try and bring in Johan Visa. They've been linked with Ollie Watkins. So whatever happens, I do think Newcastle know that they have to go out there and bring in ideally 2 strikers. But Isak, even if he's still a Newcastle player, won't be available for the start of the season, nor would he be available for Liverpool for the start of the season, because he's had a very broken pre-season. So needs to get minutes in his legs, needs to get training properly and up to the right intensity. So if I'm Newcastle fans, I'll be thinking, right, sell him and let's get the players in who, 1, want to be here, and 2, can move the club forward. So let's wait and see how this will all pans out over the next 24, 48, 72 hours. But the most pressing thing for us is we need a centre-back. Mirror reported earlier on that Liverpool had a £40 million offer turned down and that Crystal Palace won 50. I don't think they'll get 50 from us. I don't think they'll get 50 from Newcastle or anybody else from Mark Gay. So until that asking price comes down, they're probably going to be stuck with a player who's running down his contract and might leave for free in a year. So I think Palace will eventually sell, but will it be to us? I hope so, but truth is, I don't know what's going on there. So let me know your thoughts on the centre-back situation. If you're going to the game tomorrow, keep an eye on the weather reports, of course, because there's a storm coming. So check that before you go. Enjoy yourself. Have a wonderful time. And we will be here for those of you who'd like to join us for the watch-along from 4 p.m. tomorrow, taking you right through till 10 o'clock tomorrow evening. So that is it for tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for another wonderful late night agenda earlier on. I really did enjoy it. It was one of my favourite ones of the summer, actually. So thank you to everyone that was with us. And we'll talk soon. Much love, my friends. Take care. Bye-bye.